There we
Hello
go, we're
and
live.
hello and welcome back to Crypto Saving Expert, where we talk about the latest cryptocurrency news and take a look at the cryptocurrency prices so that you know exactly what is going on within the markets. We do this every single day so that you can stay up to date. Now, first of all, let's take a look at CoinMarketCap and see what's going on. So for Bitcoin, we have $16,750, and for Ethereum, we have $1,244. And with us here, we have that Martini guy who is going to run us through his latest cryptocurrency analysis.
Yes. So, in today's cryptocurrency analysis segment, you will again see the Italian flag. The Italian flag is called the VWAP. Now, it's an interesting VWAP, as this is someone from my community educated me yesterday on. Basically, this VWAP is changing per candle. So, it's an auto kind of resetting VWAP, but it still works in the exact same way. We can see every single time the price dips down into this green range right here, it becomes buy territory. And so, this is basically what I am trading right now. Now, when it comes to the price of Bitcoin right now, one of the things that we could actually do is give this volume profile a little bit of a reset when it comes to I'm just, oh, there we go, it's gone. let's redraw the volume profile, and then fixed range volume profile. There we go. There we go. And it should load. There we go. Within this range right here, if I zoom right in on the chart, it will show us the short-term volume profile of this range right here. I'm plotted it wrong. Either way, the point is you can see that basically down here we've got a huge amount of volume support for the price of Bitcoin. And so in the short term today, I'm expecting just kind of more sideways action into this range right here, which would take, this is, Ethereum's price, but essentially between where we are now and where we're going, we're not expecting a huge amount of volatility. When it comes to the price of Bitcoin right now, how is Bitcoin performing? Well, Bitcoin is not looking quite as good as Ethereum. We are currently having a little bit of a bounce right now, but again, things aren't looking too cracking for Bitcoin, being that we have broken down now out of a long-term range. However, we do still have lots of support within this range right here. I would suggest that, to me, this is currently looking a little bit like a fake out rather than a big drop to the downside. So from my perspective right now, there isn't like a clear and obvious trade to take, but my current position is that I am long from $16,750 in the expectation that we actually have a bounce off of the control line. Now, the control line is a red line that you see on the screen right here. That is the highest level of volume throughout. So as long as you remain above that control line, it means that essentially the price should be fairly stable above that level right there. So that is the analysis for today. And if you are new to the channel or you've never seen Crypto Saving Expert before, please make sure you are subscribed and make sure today that you like today's video. Very important that you do that. We're trying to shoot for 100 likes on this live stream. So please do slap a like on it, especially if you're new. But if you're not new, I expect it of you anyway. Please slap a like on it. We're trying our best here, going live every single day, bringing you the latest and greatest in the cryptocurrency news segment. So yeah, this is also the YouTube channel. All you need to do, slap that like button there and press this subscribe. Anyway, moving back, Jess, you can probably stop sharing my screen now. You're on mute. How do you put yourself on mute in this?
I've just realized we were unlisted on YouTube, so we've just gone public now. It might notify a few more people to join in.
That's fine. So, I mean, I'll just quickly run through the analysis for everybody that didn't previously just see it. Basically, Bitcoin is sat on the control right now at $16,751. How did you put it on unlisted? That's insane.
People have just been
Anyway,
coming in.
Bitcoin is sat on the control. Yeah. So anyway, I mean, there'd be a fair few people in here anyway, but just make sure you slap a like on the video. Point is, we did a bit of a private live stream then by accident. We are sat on the control line at $16,750. I'm long from $16,750 in the expectation that we have a bounce back to the upside and kind of fill this gap in liquidity here. At the same time, if we lose this $16,750 level, the level of which we'll break down to is approximately $16,600. So just keep an eye on the levels of support here, because Bitcoin could potentially be in for about a 1% drop in price. Alternatively, it will be a 1% price increase. Now, when trading this with leverage, which I will be doing, there is potential there to make a decent amount of money. However, just again, be cautious in this market. We're heading up to a big move fairly soon, and we are sat on a control line. So just keep an eye on which side of the control line we remain at when it comes to Bitcoin. And when it comes to Ethereum, the current price of Ethereum is kind of just trading sideways, and we do expect a bit of a bounce soon, being that we have touched the bottom of the VWAP again, bounced back to the upside. So it seems likely a couple more hourly candles kind of trading sideways and then potentially upwards towards the end of the day. However, just be cautious that we are actually now on Ethereum's price anyway. We're in this low liquidity range that you can see at the side of the screen right here. So Ethereum, if Bitcoin starts dropping, Ethereum could drop as low as $1,220. So bear that in mind and watch these lower levels of support on the chart right here. The lower level of support that I'll be watching is this purple line. So basically a break below this purple line here would signal that we're probably going to break down into the bottom of this trading range. So with all that bear in mind, that's today's analysis. Please make sure you have slapped like on today's video, and please make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Today's like goal is, of course, 100 likes. And if you want me to explain how to do that, literally all you need to do is be subscribed, slap this button right here, and then press that subscribe button. That's all you need to do. Also, the bell. The bell is kind of important. When you press on the drop down now, and then press on all, you'll get notified every single time Crypto Saving Expert goes live. So yes, just bear that in mind. And happy days. On to the news, I guess, Jess.
Yeah, we'll move on to the news now. So the first article we have, Coinbase stock is set for $50 after Coinbase's $100 million settlement with New York regulator. So Coinbase have reached a settlement where they will pay, they're fined $50 million first for not KYCing and AML checking people correctly, but they have now agreed to an additional $50 million commitment for the crypto exchange to spend on further improvements and enhancements to its compliance program. So this has caused a positive price in the stock because this has been ongoing since early 2021. And now this has been settled. The stock has seen a nice rise. So that's positive. We're seeing positive things in traditional finance that is related to cryptocurrency. Have you got anything to add to this one before we move on? Quick, simple article.
I would say that perhaps I think your microphone is turned up rather loud. I don't know what you've changed on that, but you are quite loud. Yeah, anything to add to the coin thing? I think this would be an indicator that the market is changing and that the market is turning back bullish. If we start seeing the price of Coinbase stock rising, that means that institutional investors are expecting that Coinbase is going to go on a rampant customer drive growing, which is very, very important, because if institutions are expecting growth in the crypto sector from their apps and saying that actually these apps are undervalued, that could potentially mean that Bitcoin is going on a bull run, which is very exciting. So I think this is really good news. But ultimately, it remains to be seen whether Coinbase stock goes back up to $50. But if it does, it probably means that Bitcoin is going to go to 25K. So yeah, that's my expectation from Coinbase stock.
We'll move on to the next article now, which is Silvergate lost $718 million selling assets to cover $8.1 billion in withdrawals after FTX's collapse. So when FTX collapsed, there was a huge amount of fear. Silvergate experienced a bank run and $8.1 billion was removed from them. But so then they had to call in all of their debts and take a loss of $718 million. And I think that's meant, yeah, here it is. They've laid off 40% of their staff as a result of this. More negative news coming from FTX. We've seen this over and over again. It seems to be slowing down slightly, so hopefully we're starting to see.
I think we're getting towards the end of it now. And to be honest, the market is not in the same bad situation that it was, because everyone understands the extent of the damage. The damage is now priced in, and now everyone is looking for recovery. And when you have recovery, it generally means that things get healthier, prices rise again. So although technically the indicators say that we are in a recession and things are going badly, indicators are lagging. They use past data to predict or to tell you what's going on currently, which is not correct. An indicator just gives you kind of a vague idea of where we're at in the market. And we have a lot of people saying, oh, look, we're mega bearish on these high timeframes. But when you start going into your lower timeframes right now and you're looking at things, actually the market is changing very significantly. We're seeing huge amounts of buying volume coming into the altcoin market. We're seeing huge amounts of, not necessarily Bitcoin market, but certainly the altcoin market is really starting to grow and thrive again. It'll be months and months and months until all of the damage from this bearish decline has been undone. But don't forget, we're running into tax season in March. And people have got massive tax write-offs this year. And there's probably some space within those tax write-offs for a few good investments as well. So don't necessarily expect the same traditional selling that we see going into the period of March, April, which we would typically see. The people are selling basically to close out for tax year. I don't think we'll see that this year. I think we'll see buying in that period of people putting money in to new investments so that they don't have to. Basically, so you roll money through a business rather than taking money out of the business. I think we're going to see a lot more of that this year, and I think that's bullish for cryptocurrencies. So yeah, that's my take on it. I think they're actually setting up quite well for the start of the year.
Okay, let's carry on with the next article then. We'll take a look at this one. US Department of Justice to seize $450 million of Robinhood shares linked to SBFs. This has been an ongoing saga. According to the Reuters reports, the Department of Justice counsel told US bankruptcy judge on Wednesday that the shares are not part of FTX bankruptcy estate and do not need to be frozen like other assets belonging to the exchange. The counsel also revealed that other assets had been seized from banks linked to FTX and could later be subject to forfeit proceedings. These banks are Silvergate Bank and Farmington State Bank, which do business as Moonstone Bank. Court papers showed that these banks hold $143 million worth of assets linked to FTX. So I think this is something that we expect following this, and it's not necessarily anything new and concerning or.
No, it's not concerning. It's really, no, it's fine. There's a bit on here that says some evidence showed that SBF teamed up with his close associate Gary Wang to borrow more than $500 million from the former trading house Alameda Research to fund acquisition of the Robinhood shares. From my perspective, ultimately, Robinhood is down bad since Sam bought his shares in Robinhood. It's down like really solidly bad. You're talking like a 70 or 80% decline, and it's still worth 500 mil. So ultimately, I think for FTX users, you've got to understand at this point about $4.5 to $5 billion of assets have been found that belong directly to FTX. So that means that actually the deficit is only $5 billion at this point, which means that you all get compensated 50%, which is good. It'll take a long time for you to get your 50% compensation, but ultimately at this point, they've discovered 50% backing of the assets. So technically, they could loan 50% against those assets, relaunch the FTX exchange. Again, this would be in an ideal world. This is what you would do. You would take a loan against those assets. You would relaunch the FTX exchange. Everyone would start using the FTX exchange, and all of the profits that are generated from that exchange then go towards paying off the loan. But basically, that would pay out everybody one-to-one and make the exchange liquid again. That is what I would say is the best scenario for FTX. I don't necessarily think it's what's going to happen anymore. I did believe that for a time, and I also hope that we would have a similar type scenario to what happened with Bitfinex in 2016 when they issued the Leo token after the Bitfinex hack in 2016, where basically $1 billion of Bitcoin was stolen from Bitfinex. But Bitfinex didn't go bankrupt. Bitfinex just issued a coin and inflated the value of that coin, and then everybody was compensated with that coin. And actually, over the years, you would be better off holding Leo than you would probably most of your assets in Bitfinex. So that was really interesting what they did, and it got everyone a full refund. And I hope that they come up with some kind of solution like that. I don't see a reason to go through the courts and drag everyone through the courts and ruin everyone's life over this when there is a pretty simple solution here, and it's called just properly finance everything, and they've got assets, so there shouldn't be too much of an issue. Anyway, what's your thoughts?
Would you use FTX again if they did that solution?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, without a doubt. What was fundamentally bad about FTX? Nothing other than the management. You change the management, the entire company structure is a really good and really expensive product. Like, to develop something like FTX, it takes hundreds of millions. It's not a cheap thing. So yeah, people use FTX again. Maybe it needs a bit of a rebrand, but like it'll get used again. The actual fundamentals are still there. It's just the management is now gone and they're all in prison or whatever they are. So like they have new management.
Yeah, I suppose. Just before we came on this live stream, there was news coming out that the repayments for Mt. Gox users has been pushed back 2 months from July to September. But I don't think that was of too much concern. It's suspected that it's due to an exchange moving out of Japan's markets, and people had to give their exchange details of where they wanted to receive some money, and some people had put that exchange on, so then they couldn't receive the money. And
when it comes to Mt. Gox, it'll get pushed back again in September to December. It's been, the Mt. Gox payout, right? That's been an ongoing trend in this space since I've really got active in crypto in 2016, 2017. And back then, people were talking about the Mt. Gox payouts. So this is just going to be something that rumbles on and on and on. Don't expect to see a resolution to that. Anyway, guys, if you're just joining the stream right now, slap a like on it. Make sure you are subscribed. We're trying to get, how many subscribers do we currently have? We've got 1,830 subscribers. So on today's live stream, we're going to try and get to 1,850 subscribers. So if you are new to the channel, please do slap that like button and subscribe. Currently at 35 likes. Let's try and get to 100 before the end of today's live stream. But anyway, Jess, continue with the news.
So let's take a look at the next article, and we have the US SEC objects to Voyager-Binance US $1 billion deal. In its, were you going to speak then? Did I interrupt you?
No.
In its filing, the SEC stated that Voyager had failed to provide the necessary information concerning the deal. According to the regulator, Voyager has not shown that Binance.US will be able to consummate a transaction worth around $1 billion, and also the nature of Binance.US business operations after the acquisition. So furthermore, the securities watchdog stated that Voyager had not provided sufficient details regarding how it intends to secure customer assets against theft or loss while implementing the planned process. The SEC added that the crypto lender had not provided details of how it would rebalance its portfolio if the sales transaction was not consummated on a specific date. So I believe this will happen. This is just it getting pushed back. They just need to provide it more information, and then it should all go through smoothly. I think they're just trying to. A lot of people.
Yeah, this was the same as my interpretation. My interpretation of this is that the SEC doesn't want Binance to become a massive behemoth, but ultimately they can't stop them. Looking at this language, they can't stop them. They can object, but they can't stop them. So from my perspective, Binance have just got to change a few things in their terms probably, and then they're allowed to keep taking it over. So yeah, ultimately Binance is the one that should probably buy Voyager's assets, being that a bit more liquidity on Binance. It's never a bad thing, is it? And also, it's only $1 billion. Binance is worth $59 billion right now in terms of customer deposits. So they can spend as much customer deposits as they like on this stuff. They've got loads of them to spend. Not that they should be doing that, and that's of course a joke. Binance make money off the fees on the exchange. They don't spend customers' money. But yes, continue, Jess.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to prove a point that they're trying to step in and make sure everything is running smoothly all the time and that they're actually regulating things in the right way. But I'm sure that will go through anyway. Taking a look at the next article, we have New York sues Celsius Network co-founder Alex for defrauding investors, Alex Mashinsky. The Attorney General of the state of New York tweeted this: "I'm suing the former CEO of cryptocurrency platform Celsius Network for defrauding investors out of billions of dollars. Alex Mashinsky lied to people about the risks of investing in Celsius, hid its deteriorating financial condition, and failed to register in New York." According to the official press release, the New York Attorney General is suing Mr. Mashinsky.
Attorney General? What's a New York Attorney General?
Attorney General. I didn't even notice that. I notice and carry on, but I didn't notice that one. For defrauding hundreds of thousands of investors, including more than 26,000 New Yorkers, out of billions of dollars worth of cryptocurrency. The lawsuit alleges that he repeatedly made false and misleading statements about Celsius safety to encourage investors to deposit billions of dollars in digital assets on the platform. We're just seeing it happen again.
Yeah. I mean, the Celsius guys, they're no good. They should just be not allowed. But what I don't understand is, why is Alex Mashinsky not in prison? Like, SBF gets put in prison. What about them embezzling funds was different than SBF embezzling funds? It doesn't make any sense. I'd like to see all of these people held to account, because ultimately Celsius had such massive egos in the bull market. They were really not nice to a lot of people, saying that everybody else was terrible and they were the best. And now they're bankrupt. But Mr. Mashinsky is still a multimillionaire that lives in a massive house that's worth not hundreds of millions, tens of millions of pounds worth of house that he lives in. He has a whole property empire, and yet he's allowed to keep it all. It doesn't make any sense. Like, SBF is having everything stripped off him. Why is Mr. Mashinsky allowed? Anyway, continue reading.
And these are the repercussions that he's getting. They're trying to get for him a permanent ban from undertaking any business relating to the issuance, offer, or sale of securities or commodities in New York, prohibits him from being a director or officer of any company doing business in New York, and secure repayment of any proceeds he received during his unlawful conduct, as well as damages and restitutions to affected investors. So, as you say, it's just so uneven. It's unbelievable.
Well, it's crazy. Like the last one there: secure repayment of any proceeds he received during his unlawful conduct, as well as damages and restitution to affected investors. What they're not saying there is shove him in jail. And they're not saying that. That which is for me is quite frustrating to see a lack of accountability. And at the same time, you here have to ban Mr. Mashinsky from undertaking business relating to the issuance, offer, or sale of securities or commodities in New York. What they're trying to do there is catch him in the future so they can shove him in jail. But why can't they shove him in jail based off what he's already done? He's literally stolen $1 billion of everybody's money and gambled it away. Like, what about that isn't legal? But then the stupid thing was the news that came out the other day that Celsius committed no crimes because when users deposited funds on Celsius, Celsius became the legal holder and owner of those funds when those deposits were made. And I believe that actually the governments here are trying to make these laws as opaque and stupid as possible to put people off investing in cryptocurrencies because cryptocurrencies they see as a threat to the traditional system. And so from my perspective, just don't buy into any of this nonsense and just don't invest in any of these stupid scammers. That's as simple as it gets. Anyway, guys, if you're just joining today's live stream, please do slap a like on it. We're at 52 likes right now, trying to get to 100. So if you've not already, there's 67 people watching. If everybody watching press that like button, we'd hit 100. Unfortunately, most of you not going to bother. So if you wouldn't mind, please do slap a like on it and subscribe. We're at 1,830 subscribers right now, but if we could get to 1,850 before the end of today's live stream, that would be fantastic. Now, continue, Jess. I think next article about DCG.
Yeah, DCG's Genesis Global lays off an additional 30% of its employees. So we've seen a lot of news about this in the last couple of days. They've said, as we continue to navigate unprecedented industry challenges, Genesis has made the difficult decision to reduce our headcount globally. These measures are part of our ongoing efforts to move our business forward. We sincerely appreciate the hard work of our talented and dedicated team as we continue to work to identify the best outcome for Genesis business, clients, and employees for the long term. Now, obviously, it's negative, but it's good that they're taking action to work towards a solution for the customers because the customers should come first in scenarios like this.
Of course.
The second round of layoffs at Genesis comes a day after the crypto lender's interim CEO wrote a letter to its clients requesting more time to sort out the company finances. While we are committed to moving as quickly as possible, this is a very complex process that will take some additional time. Earlier this week, Gemini's co-founder and president Cameron Winklevoss penned an open letter to DCG's founder and CEO Barry Silbert requesting
You was going to say Gary Bilbert then.
I was. Towards finding a solution to Genesis's liquidity issues by January the 8th. In the letter, we covered this earlier this week in the live streams. Mr. Winklevoss pointed out that it had been over 47 days since Genesis halted withdrawals in November due to FTX's collapse, and there had not been a proper communication or a solution to Gemini's over 340,000 end users looking for answers. The Gemini executive shared the open letter on Twitter, prompting Barry Silbert to respond by stating that DCG had delivered to Genesis and Gemini advisors a proposal on December the 29th that had not received any response. However, this response was insufficient for Mr. Winklevoss, who accused Mr. Silbert and DCG. Go on.
Yeah, I mean, the whole situation, it all unravels on Monday next week. So the final day that they have given them to respond is Sunday. And then on Monday, we will start to see action on Gemini versus DCG. So it's going to get very interesting what's happening with this kind of case, because we'll start to find out a lot more about the finances behind DCG as Gemini start to go down the court route when it comes to suing them. And then you have discovery when you get sued, and that allows you to dig into the finances of the other side to figure out where it's gone. And then at that point in time, we figure out if Barry Silbert gambled away all of his money. Whether he did or he didn't, it's already priced in. It shouldn't have any major effect on the market, ultimately being that it should already be priced in. We know for a fact that the nice thing about DCG, although they are heavily involved with Grayscale, we know that all of the funds within Grayscale are backed one-to-one, because we're going to openly see the Bitcoin wallet and Ethereum wallet that hold all of Grayscale's funds, which currently hold about 2.8% of the Bitcoin supply, which means from my perspective, buying Bitcoin on Grayscale right now is not really a risk, being that you can see it's backed one-to-one with regards to the contracts that they have, and you can currently buy Bitcoin at a 40% discount or 45% discount based off the current premium that is actually negative, which is really interesting. So this is pretty interesting trade right there. Don't know why more people aren't taking that one. Maybe I'm missing something, but from my perspective, it's a good trade to be taking. When it comes to the way that Gemini is interesting, because Gemini is like the most legitimate cryptocurrency exchange that does shitcoinery in the USA. From my perspective, anyways, it's up there with Coinbase. At the same time, Gemini has been scammed by Barry, but Barry was seen as one of the most legit people in the space 12 months ago. So it's all changing very quickly, and the richest people are becoming the poorer people because they're massively in debt. Who knows what's going to happen with all this stuff? It's mental. That's my thought.
So that's the last article for today. Like we can check back in on the charts and see if anything's happened. It's been quite a quick live stream today. Bitcoin's not looking too healthy on the hourly chart. Is it still above your support that we were testing, or are we still looking good?
Yeah, let's have a look. If you want to share my screen again, basically we have the control line here, and Bitcoin is bouncing upwards towards the control line right now. If we look at the exact level, so nice, it's actually coming down a little bit. The control line here is at about $16,750, give or take a little bit. You can see right here, that's what we're looking at. By the way, guys, if you're just joining the live stream right now, please do slap a like on it and make sure you are subscribed to the channel. All you need to do is click this little button down here that says number 63 right now. Just press that and the number will rise and we'll hit 100, but I don't think anyone's going to bother. Then also make sure you are subscribed to the channel with channel notifications turned on so you get notified as soon as we go live. Trying to hit 1,850 subscribers on today's live stream, so please help us achieve that goal. Anyway, when it comes to the price of Bitcoin right now, what is happening? I am going to explain in detail on TMG Trades YouTube channel in just a few moments' time. But for right now, I don't think we're in for a major move. Not until later today. We could have a major move later today, but for now, it doesn't look that unhealthy. In the lower time frames, don't look fantastic, but the higher time frames, we have lots of liquidity within this range, and all Bitcoin is doing is filling out this liquidity and then blasting straight through it again. So I expect a fairly flat day, but don't forget, on my main YouTube channel at 5 p.m. today, we talk altcoins. And I've been doing research on this altcoin for so long, you'll all be very interested to see what it is. So yes, Jess, I think on that note, we can wrap up today's live stream. Thank you everybody for watching, and slap a like. That's important.
Yeah, thank you very much for watching, and we'll be back on Monday to do another live stream every single weekday, coming with the latest cryptocurrency news and market analysis. So thank you very much for watching today, and we will see you.
One more thing. We're launching very soon, and we're going to do an announcement of the launch date next week. So I'm not going to give it away right now, but we're launching in the month of January, and we're going to do some kind of competition around launch. So that competition will only be available for people that are subscribed to the YouTube channel, have liked all of the videos, and yeah, all that stuff. So do that, please. We're trying to grow. So also forward us around. I want to do some kind of sharing competition, whereby you share us in your groups and stuff like that, and it'll be a decent prize that we give away around launch. But be excited. It's gonna be big.
It is very good. Everything's coming together really nicely.
It's not like when you go on some people's ideas and stuff that they've made, and they've made like a business idea, and they've got like a few people working on it for like 6 months or whatever, and then they launch it, and it's just like a little bit rubbish. No, what we've built is good. What we've built is competitive with the current best things in the industry, in my opinion. So I'm very excited for you all to see what we've done. So on that note, guys, yeah, have a great day.
Thank you very much for watching.
Subscribe, like, and yeah, Jess, and the live stream. But everybody should subscribe.